I'm back, and I'm, besides trimming, I swear I'm not going to cut this. All of this. Just not going to. I don't like the white, but eh, it kind of feels good being lazy, you know? I always want to have my hair cut. Always want to shave. And for the most part, I miss my opportunities and then I choose not to do it. But if I had the choice, if I could just, you know, pick one day of the week, oh, maybe not week. What am I saying? That's a way too early. What, every 2 or 3 weeks, something like that, and then just do it. But for me, it's like, hey, I'll do it when I get home, and then when I get home, I'll forget, and then don't do it. See, right now though, I don't have to worry about it. I can just let it grow out. I can say, hey, this is what it's probably going to look like when I get older. Mine is probably more hair than there is now. Um, yeah. Oh, but I did take an extra day off. Um, just really need time. Uh, I don't hardly ever request it off. And I know I should. I know I probably uh, should say, like, I don't know, like every 2 months or something like that, take a day off or something. Or um, I mean, I don't think I could do that. I think the accumulation is like 3 months. So okay, like every 3 months, take a day off, and then I should be good. Uh, but it doesn't work like that all the time. Sometimes I feel like you get in a groove, you get in your jam, and you go about yourself. You don't do nothing. You don't say nothing, and it just becomes you. And all of a sudden, once it you know maybe feels like it's a little too much for your body or whatever, and you're like, I should have took that day off. But you never think about it. Never think about it until afterwards, of course. So, like, for me, it's just more of staying more aware of myself, and I think I'm saying this, but I just know it's seems a little bit more, but being more selfish sounds bad, I know, um, but being more selfish for my body, pretty much. I know that when I'm home, I don't do a lot, with my kids, but I try to incorporate my body, at least myself, my mind. I'm there, and and if I don't feel good that next day or whatever, I still might test it, I still might do it, but it's showing ethics and the attitude towards work itself, and giving up. And I know that sometimes you might get to that point where it's like easy. Say, hey, you can just give up and do this because it just makes life so much easier. And going the path of least resistance is sometimes the best thing in life. But um, it isn't as cut and dry all the time. For me, it's like knowing you have 5 crayons in your box and that's all you're ever gonna get. You know, so you got to take care of those crayons. You really do. Anyways, wasn't a long weekend. Felt really short. My kid actually went to Portland, went to a basketball camp, came back within 16 hours or so, or something like that. So it was pretty quick, especially for a day and a half. But he told me when he came back that he said he felt he did bad. And when Trell says he does bad and doesn't say I hurt my ankle or something, or I did this and just blew the rest of the day. No, it's like I missed a couple of shots, or uh, I drove to the basket a couple of times, or more than a couple of times, and the people around him weren't doing what they're supposed to do, so he kind of relied on that instead of, just trying to take it himself, which is not a bad thing, but that's his mess up, right? He takes all that stuff to heart, especially when, he thought he saw something develop, and regardless if they didn't know each other, like he said, I think what was maybe 3 or 4 of them were from Oregon, the rest were from other states. So I was like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. And, except for having to play against if you played against a 6'10" person, you're 5'7". That kind of sucks. But he really loved it, and more than that, the experience of college, the experience of how big the world is. You know what I mean? That right there, I think, really raises his horizons. Like, it raises his expectations of what he could do, instead of what he knows around him locally. And I know you have the internet and stuff, but you don't really get to feel it unless you are there. And enduring all the stress related factors he went through today, all of that, he was super happy. And I think you don't always go through that phase. It's like you're more worried, and instead of being a little bit more carefree and just letting it flow, because that's all you can do. Like, you can be good or be bad, but you still got to be you, right? You still got to do your daily routine or whatever daily. So it's, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm glad he realized that, because not dwelling on it, but knowing what you did and just moving on, it makes the life a little easier. Anyways, I'm gonna get going. Have a good weekend.